We believe Karp Associates' 830G application for Hill Street is built on a foundation of lies and misrepresentations. When Karp purchased the property in 2015, it was permitted for 2 houses and a 12-foot wide driveway. The current permit, approved in 2018, calls for a 16-foot paved surface with two 2-foot grass buffers equaling 20 feet in total. By Connecticut State Fire Code, any multifamily development requires a minimum 20 feet access way. His new application is asking for permission to pave all 20 feet of the driveway in order to provide a legal access to a 93-unit, 6-story apartment building. We believe the application is built on a foundation of lies and misrepresentations. We believe Karp repeatedly lied to the Inland Wetlands Commission in 2016, 17, and 18 when he said that he was only building 2 houses on the property. In our opinion, Karp certainly misrepresented his intentions in June of 22 when he said that he was undecided on what he was going to build on the property. And in March 23, we believe Paul Stone lied to P&Z about the ownership of 34 Urban Street, a property abutting the Hill Street parcel, which is owned by a Karp entity. 20 feet is the minimum required for an access way for a multifamily development. The original sin, misrepresenting his plans to inland wetlands.
The 16-foot access way, it still only allows for 2 cars, doesn't allow for any more development than the 2 lots. So from our perspective, we can see nothing on the downside that would prevent approval. This application and the intention is that there will only be built 2 houses be built on this property. That's what this application is about. Is only a 2-house subdivision that's already been approved, but it was raised. Nobody knew what was happening. It is 2 houses. That's all it's going to be. The other question, again, it's only for 2 houses. As Attorney Finn said, we will be coming back when we have houses designed. And as far as the only reason this is contentious, okay, let's be honest, it's 4 feet of a driveway. My neighbor is concerned about what, and he made that clear in the last hearing, what might go there. This is for 2 houses, okay?
But this was not for just 2 houses, as we will now see.
This is Angela Jameson for the record. I just had a few questions relating to a document that was placed in the record. It's a report by GZA. It's dated May the 10th, 2017. So it is quite dated. And that was the time when this commission was deliberating on alterations to a driveway for 2 hypothetical single-family homes. And we were assured that that's what we were looking at. But it's interesting, I find, that this particular report, it is actually based on a site plan, which looks to be very, very similar to what we have been seeing. And it is a report on the retaining walls. It says, based on the site plan, a series of 5 to 15-foot high retaining walls are planned in the northern and eastern portions of the project site. So I think this is actually, it's part of the record, and it is apposite to this. Can you just very briefly tell us what may have changed since that, first report was produced in 2017, when pretty much everybody thought we were talking about 2 single-family homes?
We had no plan whatsoever for it, but early on you have to do borings on anything. So the question to the geotechs was, what could be the largest thing you build? And what could be a medium sized, and get any information needed for that. So they just modeled something out. That was it. And there was no course of action decided on any of that. So. Right.
But the plan does look pretty similar in terms of the layout of the
So again, there
building.
it was a concept, one of many concepts, and that was it. And that was strictly for the purposes of that drill rig to get in there to take borings, period.
Okay, so it was a concept that
It
you
was
were
not
all
part of
playing
any
with or
application
thinking about,
whatsoever. There
but
was,
it wasn't.
it was
wasn't
exploratory of
Uh-huh.
one of many concepts, so.
Right. So that was when we were assured that what was in everyone's mind was two family homes.
It is clear from the record that Wetlands relied on Mr. Karp's assurances when they took their vote to approve his 16-foot application.
Actually is worried, or somebody mentioned that they're afraid that if they expand the driveway 16 feet, that means they're going to have a larger development of houses. And Mr. Karp went on record by saying, and he's on record, that's it, 2 houses. So I'm going to take him at his word, that's it, 2 houses.
Inland Wetlands granted approval in November of 2018 for a 16-foot driveway.
I said, as every builder says when they have water and sewer, well, it could always be affordable housing. Okay, so yes, that has been something that has been discussed from the day that property got approved, because any piece of property in New Canaan that has water and sewer, okay, without a moratorium or without a plan for the town, has the potential to be a multi-unit development. But, the painting of me being disingenuous, no, we're working on plans. We haven't yet made a decision. And we have not decided. We have other applications in, but we're looking at a few different options for this piece, but nothing has been decided.
I can tell you that once this town filed for the second moratorium at the end of July, beginning of August, I got a phone call and was told we have to get an application in because the town has applied for another moratorium. And we hustled to get everything filed with this commission because we have to file prior to or simultaneously with the zoning. And to get the zoning in, my client had no choice at that point. If they wanted to leave this option open, they had to file it. And that's how we ended up here.
Have a look at these two timelines. The one on the left was provided by Mr. Karp, and the one on the right was provided by New Canaan residents against destructive development. Mr. Karp conveniently leaves out of his timeline his multiple attempts in 2016 and 2017 to get approval from Wetlands to increase the width of his driveway from 12 feet to 16 feet. This was at the same time as the GZA report noted earlier. Mr. Karp would like us to believe that he could have filed for an 830G development at any time in the period from 2015 to 2017, and that is evidence that he did not have this intention. This could not be further from the truth. The 12-foot wide driveway that he had approval for at that time would not allow for the construction of a multifamily building. Furthermore, his attempts to get approval of a 16-foot wide driveway with 4 feet of buffers demonstrate that he knew he could not advance his multifamily plans at that time. When he finally secured his approval for a 16-foot driveway in 2018, the town's moratorium was already in place. Thus, his plans had to be put on hold until after the town's moratorium expired in the summer of 2021. We will let you decide what this next clip is.
Does the applicant currently own 34 Urban Street? We have potential access to it, but obviously, that wasn't my question. Hill Street 72 does not own it. No.
I'll take you to a word on this one that no one affiliated with this application owns any of the properties that would be traversed as part of this. Okay, that's what you stated correctly? Yes? Did or didn't?
Yes.
From Urban Street through the access way we're talking about until it reaches the subject property, all of that land is not owned by the applicant or any affiliated or owner of the applicant, correct?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
In here, okay? What is on the table is a 2-lot subdivision There is no change. Attorney Green is 100% correct that Urban Street has been bought. It has actually been bought by yours truly, having no relationship to this project except that 2 homes get built there, and I take the house on Urban Street and I renovate it, and that is my core business. It is a interesting way of making money.
Mr. Karp cannot have it both ways. If he was exploring other options while he was assuring wetlands that he was just going to build 2 houses, then we believe that is a lie of omission. The fact that his current plan seems to so closely match the plan that was being used by GZA for their test borings suggests, we believe, that this was a lie of commission as well. His applications should be rejected.